What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 4. Today, I have a special guest, and this guy is incredible. What's up, Dan? How's it going? Tell me how you've skyrocketed your channel to 0 to, let's say, 80,000 subscribers almost like within a year or the past 2 years. And let alone, you have over 44 million total channel views, and half of that is actually coming, I know, right? Half of that is coming from a short that you created almost 2 weeks ago at 24 million views. What does that mean to you, and how do you do it?
Well, you know, Kyler, we can give you the secrets right now. Yeah, it's all pretty surreal for me. I've been taking screenshots every day for the past month of the YouTube analytics.
As you should. I mean, that's an incredible feat, and honestly, it's shocking to me. I just checked out your channel because I was like, you know, I should reach out to Dan and get him on the podcast. And when I looked at it, I'm like, wait, 80,000? The last time I looked at this, you were at 30 and 40,000. I'm like, what is going on? So today we're gonna dive into a little bit behind the scenes, and I'm glad you talked about screenshots. I think the first thing we need to talk about is your shorts, because you are killing the shorts game. You're constantly making a ton of content, and then you're releasing this on Instagram, TikTok, and even YouTube. So what is your biggest tip for creating shorts? Does it just come out of the blue, or do you pull out a little snippet, or what do you do?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm very impressed that you said that you already were thinking about having me on the podcast, but then you saw my view count afterwards. I thought it was going to be after you saw the view count and then you wanted me on the podcast, but I'm impressed that it's the other way around. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that from you. Now, one of the things that I saw on a YouTube, YouTube partner program, little video that they were recommending or sending us an email, and they give us those tips. They said, well, your shorts got to be, if you're not getting a lot of subscribers from your shorts, is your main content similar to the shorts? And I'm just I agree with that wholeheartedly, because that's what I've been doing this whole time. What's the point of posting something that's not similar to the main stuff?
Agreed.
So, it's literally the same video.
And that's crazy to me. Look, you can make the exact same video, which you have, but if you release it in a different form, sometimes people will consume that a little bit better. And for the people on YouTube, I'm going to play his short right now.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2. Good. Pop over. Good. And back. And pop off. That's good.
Nice. What? Did you toss to him?
Dude, I'm so fucking tired.
It's absolutely hysterical because it's just less than 15, 20 seconds. And it's not even just that it's the most cinematic thing. It's just what is happening. And Dan talked about it's the same thing that he's posting on his channel. And that's what we talk about, of being consistent with what you post and continually making the same stuff. That's why I recently just moved all my vlogs and my podcast to separate channels, because if people all of a sudden, if he's posting, let's break it down. If Dan is posting cheerleading lifestyle videos, stunt vlogs, funny behind the scenes stuff, friend content, then he all of a sudden starts saying, I love camping, so now I'm just gonna post camping videos. While that might blow up in a certain audience, it's telling YouTube, which is the algorithm, that, hey, I've switched gears. So now YouTube is gonna take that and try to plan, hey, let's put this video in front of someone else's eyes. And what that's going to do is it's going to confuse the audience, because now it's YouTube has changed. What worked 5 years ago is not going to work today. And I think you've finally realized that, and now have been able to tailor your content into this new form of YouTube, which is incredible, because now it revolves around AVD, or average view duration, and all these other metrics that YouTube looks into. So if somebody clicks on your video and they finish it fully, YouTube's gonna be like, hey, that was a good video. So let's put that in front of other people who like the similar content. Because if you break it down to look at a singular viewer, like from the audience perspective, everyone's different. Like what Sally Hansen likes isn't the same thing as like Trevor Thompson or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like breaking that down and figuring out is what's really gonna make it successful. And I think you've done a fabulous job of keeping everything cohesive, knowing what you want to go, breaking down your own niche and capitalizing on it, because I don't think anyone else is doing what you're doing.
Well, I mean, that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I don't see anyone else making it, and someone was going to make it at some point. So I would have been pretty pissed off if someone made it before me.
And I mean, I agree. I think it's an option to keep in mind that there is going to be other people out there, but you are just doing it better. And that's like what I say all the time is like on YouTube, it's like you'll be doing something and someone else might pop up and be like, hey, that's a good idea. Like, let's do that. And like, we're in completely different markets. Like I'm in tutorials and behind the scenes stuff, and you're in like the more lifestyle, fun filled environment, but there's going to be other people doing that. So how do you deal with that? Like you just full face forward, like I'm going to stay consistent with this and just do my best. Like what is the reasoning behind wanting to start your YouTube, wanting to share these videos, sometimes even weekly?
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, so the only thing I thought about was what can I make consistently? And I already knew that my stunting, I mean, I've been stunting for 8 years, so I knew my stunting was at a level where it could be that it can be watched, you know, like sometimes stunting, it's just hard to watch. At least my stunting, you can watch it. And I know that we always have fun as we're stunting. So I was just like, I always knew that would be a good combination, but the hard part was just finding someone to film it. So.
And that's a thing I wanted to ask you. Like in every single video, obviously you're stunting with friends, you're stunting with people you just meet. I mean, for one, you just show up to a McDonald's and all of a sudden you're stunting with everyone at McDonald's. I'm surprised you didn't even throw that McDonald's worker that gave you your food up in the air. But the thing is like when you look at it, do you think there's something to be told about the fact that you kind of need friends to make content or like make great content? Like look at, I don't know if you know David Dobrik at all. Like have you seen any of his videos?
I'm a huge fan of David Dobrik, Danny Duncan, Mr. Beast. I'm a big YouTube guy.
Yep. Yeah, like those guys, all of them are doing it right because they surround themselves with like-minded people. And that's like what I talk about is like, if you surround yourselves with like-minded people, then it's going to be easier to make content. It's going to be more fulfilling to yourself, and it's going to be ultimately make your life easier. And when you look at it, like you have someone who can film for you, you can edit your own videos, like it just comes together in a package deal. So like when did you find your group? Like I know you're always like meeting new people, like people are coming up to you randomly like, oh my God, what's up, bro? Like you've kind of built your name already in this sport. So what would you say, like if you didn't have that and you just started out by yourself, like let's rewind to like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, your content was very different. It was kind of more skit based things. It was just you in front of the camera talking about these like funny little things. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, people watched it, but like in comparison to like where you are now, when did you decide that, hey, I need to start bringing in people around me? Like when was that defining moment for you?
Well, the skit era of my channel is a pretty interesting one. That was during COVID. And I really wanted, because I had all the time in the world, so I was like, okay, I'm going to make some skits. And then after COVID, we got to be able to stunt way before anyone else was allowed to, so we were pretty lucky on that front. But we were stunting, and I knew that, I mean, COVID kind of was showing me is what gave me, because, you know, it's a low point for everybody. So I was like, man, I really want to make it on YouTube. I know some vlogs, I know they could work. And if I build it up over time, because I wasn't nearly as good at editing in the beginning, of course, even from just the skits, even after those, not even close. So I knew that if I started some vlogs, it would get good, somewhat good by this point. And then it was pretty simple to me. The answer was pretty clear. It was just going to be really hard to follow through. Really hard.
Like, what do you mean like hard to follow through? Like with the YouTube process, with staying consistent?
Yeah, well,
or...
the entire thing, because you have to schedule everybody, and then you have to find a filmer. And a lot of the times you have to ask people to film for you because you don't have a filmer. And it's just incredibly embarrassing at times because people just don't take you seriously. The beginning was...
Yeah, like this guy shows up with the camera and it's like, what do you want me to do? Like hold the camera, and then half the time they don't even get what you're trying to shoot,
Right.
and then they miss
Dude,
the
one
shot.
time this guy was he was filming me, and then me and Gabe were having this funniest conversation. And we're just going back and forth, and that's like what the content is. You know what I mean? The content is us talking. The stunting is just kind of like a bonus. At least that's what my goal was the whole time. Because I'm not going to get anywhere with just stunting. No one is. You know, you had to get somewhere with who you are as a person. So I was having this funny conversation, and then my filmer was just literally doing B-roll of the flags that were on the wall.
Don't you love that? Like when you have a vision and you give it to someone else and they also have a vision, he's like, nah, bro, I got this like sick shot of this flag moving in the wind, like that you'll be able to like overlay over your conversation. That's actually hysterical. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your type of content, because like you mentioned Mr. Beast, and he is doing very fast, punchy stuff in your face. Like, what's up guys? Today I'm giving $10,000, blah, blah, blah. Right. Your content is very similar to that in the sense, like you watch a couple of your videos and it's like, you don't stay on a shot for more than like 5-10 seconds. You get the point across and it's already into the next one. And you have like different cut scenes. You have the cinematic B-roll moments of like stunting with like a lot of well-known cheerleaders in our community, which is awesome because then that gets people who like them to watch more of your stuff, because like, oh, this girl's in it, that guy's in it, like I'm gonna watch more of this stuff. It's very easy to consume. Like I found myself just kind of like sitting there and binge watching a lot of your videos. And like, do you think that's part of the reason, like your shift is part of the reason why all of a sudden now you're getting a bunch of new audience and new people into your channel? Because like if you look at it, like you're not just getting cheerleaders. Like you have to be getting like some people who don't even know what cheerleading is, because it's about the funny conversations. It's about the back and forth with whoever you meet.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was battling a long time ago, was the fact that cheerleading, especially co-ed stunting, is not a very big audience in of itself. And so I was like, how the hell am I going to build a channel around that when the audience isn't big enough for me to like sustain a view count per video or whatever? Are you still here? Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
I'm still here.
The audience just went completely null. So the important thing for me was to have it be universally liked, and my entire goal was to have normal people like it, in which they do, because I did this poll in the beginning and it was like 60% people that were not even cheerleaders, bro.
Yeah, that's like crazy to look at. I'm gonna try to find your poll so I can look at it.
My first one in my community tab, but it is. I'm extremely thankful.
Are you a cheerleader? And yeah, 72% says nah, and 28% said yes,
Nah.
I am. That's 21,000 or 2.1K votes.
It's only 2,000 votes.
Knowing that, did that like scare you at all? Like that's a year ago. So like 72% of people who are looking at it are saying, no, I'm not into cheerleading. So like, did you just decide to yourself like, well, if I'm going to make a channel that focuses on cheerleading, how can I change to make it more interesting? Like, did that cross your mind?
Well, I mean, I remember when I was not cheerleading, you know? So I remember vividly what I thought of cheerleading when I started. And I think it's dumb. I still think it's dumb. Like, you know, there was a reason I did cheerleading, was because I could go to college for it in America. And no one else can do that outside of America. Literally not a single other country, I don't believe. So we're extremely lucky, and I had the opportunity to go to college, not for free. Some scholarship, but not for free. Some people get for free, but I just didn't go to the right school, I guess. And but that was my whole goal. I got hurt in football, and you know, I did the other sports, but since I got hurt in football, I was like, what the hell do I do? The cheerleaders kind of took me in because they asked me to be a mascot, and then I was just like, this is actually kind of fun to do. I was the only guy, It was unique. I felt special. I felt like if I learned how to do a back tuck, I could finally beat my cousin because he can always do everything better than me. So I just wanted to beat him, and then I wanted to be cool and hold a one-arm stunt because a one-arm stunt's cool to me. So I remember what was cool to me. I remember what was interesting, and that's all I focus on in my videos. That's from literally the beginning, which is why I think my videos are doing better now. The content was always there. No one's just watching it yet, you know? And I'm thankful and I'm very happy and grateful that people are watching a little bit now. And granted, at this point, I'm at 80K around that followers. And last month I was at 20,000. I did a podcast. It's still not as crazy as like most people, but I did a podcast early with Bondi. I was still at like 15,000 for that podcast. So I wasn't even.
And now you're on another podcast and you're constantly blowing up and growing. And you mentioned like the sense of like community that you felt like the cheerleading community was like where you belong because it was enjoyable, it was fun, it was cool. You could do those one-arm stunts, and like that is very, very impressive. Like you watch any of your vlogs and it's like you do something and then people in the background are like, what the heck? Like how did he just do that? And like to you, like that's easy. Like you can do that in your sleep, right? So it's like looking at that community that you have been invited into. How do you think of your community on YouTube now? Like, how do you look at it differently now that you kind of are blowing up? Like, do you engage with your audience? Like, do you have plans in the future to like do more community-based things, like live streams, like literally anything? Like, how are you replying to comments? Like, what are you doing?
I've done live streams. I don't really know how to play that field too much either right now because I was playing games and then people were like, "Why the hell are you playing games? This is a cheer channel."
Exactly. That's what we talked about earlier.
So I was just like, some people really liked it, a few people, and I was just like, man, I really want to do it for them, because it's fun for me. But I also feel like I'm gonna get canceled if I live stream all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say something stupid.
Yeah.
So live streaming scares me for one, and for two, it's hard as hell, and for three, I can't edit anything out. So yeah, all that stuff is interesting and it's difficult to have two things going on the same channel, but
it was just like talking about that community. Like you've built this community on YouTube now and it's constantly growing every day. So I was just asking like, what do you plan for continuing to like invite your community in, bring them in, talk to them, communicate with them, like replying to comments? Like, are you very active on that front? Or you just kind of post it and like, here's my day?
Yeah. I mean, I like to heart the first couple of people that comment. I like to reply to a few people that had a really funny comment, and yeah, I'm still very active. I respond to almost every single Instagram message I get. Some of them are just complete stupid, so I don't answer those. So if you don't get a response, you know you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, I've gotten so many messages like, bro, what are you doing? Like I won't even say them on this podcast to keep it away from explicit, but how do you deal with negativity? Like I'm sure you've had some people comment like, this is stupid, why are you doing this? Like I'm unsubscribing. Like how do you deal with that aspect of YouTube? Because it is hard. Like even when you're like, maybe let's talk about before you blew up. So like let's go 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. How did you deal with getting a dislike, and now the dislike's taken away from YouTube? But like how did you deal with that negativity in your life?
Earlier it was bad because I wasn't in a good mental state. So it's completely different now because I'm in a much better mental state after the new year, and it has been fantastic. The comments don't get to me. The positive comments don't get to me. Like Gary Vee said, and Bo Burnham said, you have to reject both sides, you know, because you can't get too big of a head and you can't let yourself get too down. It really helps me to keep going and just do what I do, because I mean, most of the negative comments, I'm also very grateful that my main videos don't really get that many negative comments, but my shorts do, right? Yeah. The shorts are what people see me for the first time. They already know all the details, and they're going to say whatever they want to say. And so the shorts are very negative, a lot of them. A lot of positive, but definitely way more negative than normal. So I didn't really have a problem with it.
Yeah, I think that's a great mentality to have, because even I deal with negative comments all the time and stuff. And it's like, as long as you focus on your reason why behind what you do, and you've mentioned that earlier of like how it's fun for you. Like it's exciting, it's a rewarding experience, and you just kind of get to share your memories with the world, then it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks. It doesn't matter what they're writing, the keyboard warriors behind a hidden anon account. But there is a difference in like the main content on your page versus shorts, which you mentioned. Like obviously you had a video blow up, and a lot of your shorts have more video views than your actual main thing or your main videos do. And that's because like the way we consume content, like people are just constantly scrolling on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, and now YouTube Shorts. So it's like looking at that, you're going to get a different subscriber base. And it's like, it's hard to bridge the gap because someone, as you said, who watch your short for the first time, they've never seen you before. And that means they've never actually watched your long form content. But the cool thing that YouTube does is like, if they watch your short and they liked it, they watched it all the way through, now that tells the algorithm that YouTube is going to start pushing your main content to them. And they may be more inclined to pick the video because they've already seen some of your shorts and they thought it was funny. They gave it a thumbs up, you know? So I think that's interesting. And I think you should keep doubling down on those shorts. And I guess I wanted to ask you now, with that negative feedback on some of your shorts, how do you push through? Like, how do you push through those setbacks? And I think you mentioned it earlier that like it doesn't bother you. Like you just keep going on. Like, do you have a schedule? Do you like plan your YouTube videos out? And you also mentioned that like setting up dates with people is sometimes hard, getting a group of friends together. So I kind of want to like dive into the business aspect, I guess you want to call it. Like, how do you plan what your next shoot is going to be?
Yeah, I'm done. I got it. Well, there's a lot of things you said, but I'm going to answer a few of them.
I tend to do that. Sorry.
The first thing I wanted to say that the short thing with all the shorts, it's like, oh, and the negative comments. I always dreamt of getting negative comments because that meant I was getting famous. That meant that there were so many comments. Dude, when you first post a video, the only comments are positive because no one wants to be singled out because there's only five comments, right?
Sometimes.
Okay, yeah. But most of the time they post a negative comment because they think the owner's not going to see it because it's just a flood of comments.
Yep.
So the moment I start getting more and more comments that are negative, I start realizing that I'm getting bigger. And plus, if there's a negative comment, it just boosts my video more. And a lot of people talk about that too. And I'm just like, yeah, I agree. It's awesome. I don't care what they think because I know exactly what they're going to respond to when they actually watch the main video. And it's going to be a positive response because they see the whole story. So I'm not worried about that. And second thing was the business side of it, which is, what was the middle question? Did you have a middle question? So I remember that was the end of it.
It's just kind of talking about like YouTube Shorts being pushed to a new audience and bringing that new audience in.
Yep, I got it. So the YouTube Shorts thing, man, it exactly does what you're saying. It promotes your long videos and not your. It promotes your long videos if people watch your shorts, and then it gets you subscribers. It's so much better than TikTok, any other Instagram thing. It's like none of the other apps matter. Shorts is the only thing that matters. YouTube is the only thing that matters. If you want to build an audience, become a content creator, the only thing that matters is YouTube. I got 40 million views on TikTok. I say this all the time. But I got 40 million views on TikTok, and I got 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I get 40 million. How many did I get? I got 40 million now. Dude, now I've had 40 million for this month, which is insane. That's never happened in my life.
Yeah, those are some serious numbers. Like when I talk to you about this, bro, like we'll dive into my analytics a little bit too, but like that's a crazy amount. Like if you're looking at it, like even one short just got you that, but like looking at my channel, I have 247,000 subscribers. And that's on my main channel because the channel this is on has like 20 right now. But I have in total 22 million views. Yeah. So that's crazy to think like you have now 44 million views. Wow. And it's kind of like looking at it as, does that like almost like, don't take this the wrong way. Does that discourage you at all that you're getting more views than you are subscribers, like in terms of like your view per subscriber ratio? Like there's a lot that goes into that of like YouTube deciding or people deciding when they want to subscribe and all that stuff. And it's like they watch your content, they love it, they think it's funny, but sometimes they just don't subscribe. And I think we live in an era now that's completely different on, like I said earlier, what worked 5 years ago isn't going to work today, but what you are doing is working. And what's happening is YouTube is pushing your videos in front of more eyeballs, in front of more people. So just because you're not getting as many subscribers as someone else, you are still getting more subscribers than anyone else. And I'll be damned if I don't say this, but you will literally surpass me, I would say probably within 6 months to a year from now. And we will celebrate this moment and look back because you are on the up and up, you are on the grind, and you are doing everything right. So with that knowledge, you finally have to break down the business side of things. Like, how do you plan a video?
Well, all my videos are off the cuff. And I do that on
that's
purpose.
awesome.
Because for one, it takes way too much effort to plan a video. For two, it doesn't feel as authentic, which is what Mr. Beast said too. You can only plan so much of his videos. And three, that's how I keep it consistent, is the impromptu stuff. Because if it wasn't impromptu, I wouldn't be able to make these videos because it'd be too difficult and I would just give up. So I had to figure out a way to post regularly, and that had to be impromptu. And the best part is I've been lifting girls for 8 years. So I'm an expert. It's different when there's
An expert.
It's different when you're a beginner trying to do impromptu, whereas when we've mastered your craft and you can do improv, right? It's very different. It's like watching. Well, I don't want to compare myself to the best. Okay, I already said I'm the best. So it's like
You can't compare yourself if you're already the best,
well,
bro.
I'm not, but I'm not the best stunter at all. But we've gotten to a level now where we can like relax. We can just stunt for fun, and it's gonna be good. We can work hard. We're gonna get better. We're still getting better every single day, but we understand what it feels like. We understand. I mean, we've been doing this for so long, bro. This is the whole thing. Anyone who's a professional at what they do, they understand what I'm saying. That it gets to a point where it gets boring, right? You have to do something else, and the videos make it more interesting for me. And then if the videos, what was I gonna say? Nope, I forgot.
Yeah, and that's okay. Sometimes my grandma says, if you forget, then it was a lie. But I don't think that's the case here. I think we're just very forgetful people because we have so many things going on. Like, you are constantly working and you're constantly on the grind. I mean, like touching on a topic you said, like, it's so natural for you. Like, I cheered in college too. I was never good in college and I got better after college. And maybe that's a similar scenario for you. I have no idea. But the thing is like, my girlfriend, Paige, she's incredible. And the first time we ever stunted with each other, I've never done a one-to-one in my life. And for everyone listening, if you don't know what a one-to-one is, you take one arm and then the girl leans back. She does a backflip and then you throw her up in the air and then you catch her with one hand. It's pretty cool, right? Like Dan said earlier, he likes one-handed stunts because it looks awesome. And when we showed up that day, I simply said, yeah, let's do a one-to-one. And then she's like, have you ever done one before? I'm like, oh yeah. Literally within like the first 10 tries, we smacked it. And it was the most rewarding experience for me because I was like, okay, this is fun. So now I can play. And we still stunt around every now and then, but it's like, I'm nowhere near your level. And I think that's awesome. Like, you need to think about something where it's like, you mentioned it's so easy and it's relaxed for you. And I think that's the type of content that works, because when you look at it at the high level of, if it is staged or if it is planned, then it's not funny anymore. Because like half the time, like that one video that blew up on your shorts is literally the girl had no idea what you were doing. It's just behind the scenes. You're like, oh, this would be funny. You just do it and then it happens. And that's like her reaction to that is the audience's reaction to all of your videos. Because since it's not staged, it's funny. It's engaging, it's clickable, it's binge worthy. Like, I would sit down and watch all your videos if I had the time. So I think that's a really interesting topic. And that's something that I think a lot of people should tailor to their own content. Yeah, you can plan the bare minimums, but as Mr. Beast said, you can only plan so much. And if you truly get down to plan every video, like obviously you could hire a bunch of cinematic filmmakers to come in and make you the most epic video, but it's not going to react the same way because it doesn't have those like funny moments, and it's not like what your audience wants. And you figured out what your audience wants, and that's the biggest thing. So I want to ask you, like, where do you see the future of your channel evolving? I mean, I already told you that within a year you're going to surpass me, so I'm like really excited for you, and I'm excited to see how this takes you.
The future of it, I really like Danny Duncan and his videos. I structure my videos off of his a lot, and David Dobrik's, and like they're huge inspirations to me. But I mean, both of them fell off, and it's extremely disappointing to me. So I do not want to fall off, right? No one does. But how am I not going to fall off? I don't fall off if I stop putting the effort in, right? And David Dobrik, he changed the style of it at the end of it. So it's just like, I don't want to do that either. So, but Danny Duncan's kind of kept the same thing, but it's just a little bit less effort, it feels like. So I don't want that. So, but I mean, I edit my own videos, and I plan to do that this whole time. David did that as well. So that was good. It's a good thing by David, but he just completely changed the style, and then he got canceled, then he got scared. So I'm just going to make sure that I keep on putting in the effort and the want to keep going higher, and that way the videos can still stay entertaining. Because the moment Danny got comfortable is the moment they're just not as funny anymore. They just feel like content that you just post every week, and so feel like you're grinding for it.
It becomes a job.
Yeah, I mean, especially because he doesn't edit his own videos.
Yeah.
So he just doesn't.
And that's something that I need to take advice to, because I believe in like changing your style around and obviously testing new things and seeing what works, as you did 2 years ago, because you found out that, hey, this works, I'm gonna stick with it. And then honestly, it makes it easier for you because really you can just show up, you don't have a plan, and you just film it.
It definitely did not work. But
what part didn't work?
My style. I had to,
like before?
Yeah, no, I had to. Well, the thing about my videos is that I can't follow a trend. I can't follow a TikTok trend or YouTube trend. I can't do a certain hashtag that's going to promote it. I have to do cheer and stunt as my hashtags. I have to do my personality as my video. And if it takes off, it takes off. Fantastic. They're going to like all my other videos because it's the same thing. But like, I was going against the algorithm because I only had one type of content, you know? And if it works, then I succeed. But if it doesn't work, I don't succeed. I can't change it because my content is my personality. So I knew that if it would work, I'd be extremely successful, and I'm very happy. But it was definitely difficult to edit the videos in a way that were entertaining enough for someone to watch it on a short.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that you're not changing your content because it's your personality.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like a YouTube and a YouTube channel should be an expression of yourself. Like my channel focuses on tutorials, teaching people filmmaking things, and it's an expression of what I like to do. I mean, even Dan and I have talked before, like he's editing in Resolve, or he was doing something, and I'm like, I'm trying to help you out, bro, but like literally I don't use it as much, but here's a couple tips and tricks. And it's like we go back and forth with stuff like that, but like you need to express yourself in the type of content that you're making. And I wanted to say kudos to you, man, because like it's really engaging. It's highly rewarding to watch your videos because it's fun. It brings back memories of mine that I've had. And I think I would recommend everyone else to go and subscribe to your channel. But I wanted to also ask you, I think I have like 2 more questions, and then we can leave the floor for you if you have anything else that you want to say.
Sure.
How important is like consistency for you? Like, because you talked earlier about like, well, you don't really have a plan. You don't have a schedule of like when you're going to make videos. So like you're posting like maybe like 2 to 5 videos a month and stuff, but you also said reels are more important and you want to double down on that. So like what's your kind of plan on like how much you want to post?
Well, shorts are important, but they cannot take up all your time at all. So the long videos are the most important thing, and that's what all my time goes, you know. Whatever you spend the most time in, you know, that's what's going to be the best. So I had to put the most time into long videos, you know, and then take a clip from the long videos and put it into the shorts. I recently just got done posting all the shorts that I liked from my previous stuff and then posting it onto my actual shorts. I got done doing that recently. So I'm not...
Are you using the remix feature now?
No. No, don't.
I would
I don't
actually
even know how that works.
highly recommend you test that out, because the remix feature, as long as you don't have any copyrighted content, you can remix one of your videos that you have. So then you go onto your video, you click the remix button, it automatically edits it into a short, either 15 to 60 seconds. You can change how long it is.
Yep.
And that will link people to your full video. So when they watch that, they can also click a button and be immediately directed to your full video. So I would definitely check that out, because I've been doing that. And like literally on one thing, like at a channel with 0 subscribers, I got 6 subscribers in like a second. And that's like an incredible feature that YouTube has that not a lot of people are using right now, but they're heavily pushing that.
Yeah, I should definitely give it a try.
Yeah, and you'll have to let me know how that works. But my final question that I wanted to ask you is, and I asked you before this, and you don't have to give it exclusive numbers, but
yeah,
if
I'll
you
tell
want
you
to,
everything.
you can. So on your channel, like obviously you're blowing up. You said you had 20,000 subscribers last month, and this month you have 80,000 subscribers.
Yep.
On that short that you posted,
$1,000.
can you read off some stats that you have? Subscribers, everything.
Sure. Yeah, I'll pull it up. But I mean, it money wise, it makes the same amount as TikTok for shorts, and you know that, right? You've been posting some shorts.
Yeah, Shorts, they actually just rolled out the partner program through Shorts. So then now they can monetize it. While it's not as great as your normal long form content, it's still an option, which is great because you can utilize it. Like that's the greatest thing with YouTube, man. Like we don't have to do anything. Like once you post a video, it's like YouTube handles all the monetization. They handle working with ads, different stuff like that. So
yeah, that's pretty nice.
Why not use it if we have it?
Top videos, most popular videos. So, okay. 24 million views, 25,000 subs.
25,000 subs for a short. How long do you think that took you to make?
The short, that took me about 20 minutes.
So think about that, dude. Think about that ROI, like your return on investment of a short. In 20 minutes, you just gained yourself 25,000 subscribers.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
It's a miracle. And I always say that it's like, you only really need one video to blow up, because in that terms of one video, a lot of people are going to subscribe, and then you're going to get return subscribers. You're going to get more views, which more views equals more viewers that aren't currently subscribed. So I think that's awesome. And like, I even had that a long time ago. I'll share it with you real quick. Like it was a Billie Eilish tutorial, and I'll head over to my studio as well.
I would love that video.
Yeah, it's just like basically I made a video about Billie. There we go. Let's pull it up. About Billie Eilish just released this music video, and like all of a sudden randomly she had like black liquid flowing down from her eyes, and I was like, this is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do a video on this. And it was nuts. Like I just kind of theorized how it was happening. Within 5 hours of her posting that music video, I posted in the comments, hey guys, I did a behind the scenes tutorial on how she created the black liquids flowing down from her eyes. And immediately all the comments were like, this isn't how she did it. She actually cried, all this stuff. But that video got like only 1.5 million views. And with that, it got 7.5. Well, it got like 7.5 to like 10. There's some lapse in the subscriber thing, and generated a couple $1,000s in revenue. And it's like, looking at that, it's like, that's nowhere near like your short, but also you had 22 or 24 million views. So it's like, that took a lot of effort out of mine. And like, I'm looking at content of, yeah, it's easier to blow up, but it's a miracle. Like nothing, you don't really know what's going to work. But now that you do you think you've shifted your content strategy on like what works? If it's funny and like it made people laugh, are you going to like make that into a short next?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, my shorts are just if I think it's funny. Well, actually, I'll go a little bit more in depth. My best type of shorts are ones where I have stunting in it, we're laughing in it, a funny joke, and maybe some music. So if I have a combination of all three, my shorts don't do well if it's just talking, and they don't do well if it's just stunting. You know, if I have a combination of all, which is the best, which have a combination of multiple, details of a video, that's a great way to have something go viral.
I love that. Like a combination of everything.
Right.
Keep the audience entertained, keep them focused on what's happening, and keep it short, like Mr. Beast style, or Danny Duncan or David Dobrik, in your face and all that stuff. And I think you're doing it right. I think your channel is blowing up. I think everything you have learned over the years is showing, and I'm finally so happy that your channel has blown up. And I love that, like, I was thinking of you before all this stuff, and then I'm like, yeah, like, I'm gonna get some assets, and I go to your channel, and now you're like at 80,000, which is mind-blowing to me. And hopefully I can take some of the strategies that you explained today and apply it to my own channel. So I wanted to leave the floor to you, Dan. What do you want to tell everyone listening on the podcast, everyone watching on YouTube? What would you recommend to them? What is your one slice of advice, or whatever you want to call it?
One slice of advice. Well, I mean, the main thing that I focused on was being consistent. So if you can create a video with the same vibe over and over and over, then you're going to do pretty good on YouTube if you can get some people to view it. One of the important things about knowing what your niche is that I knew what my niche is, which is cheerleading, of course, but no one's going to click on a cheerleading video, at least the people that I'm trying to reach. I know I can't reach with just cheerleaders. I can't get enough people to support myself. So I need to get people that aren't cheerleaders. So in order to get them to click, the only way you can reach them pretty much is through shorts, because shorts is just forcing it down the throat, right? So if I'm going to force something down their throat, it's got to be the best video possible in a short amount of time. Can't be too short, can't be too long. My best of my videos in the shorts, and luckily they did good on TikTok and YouTube. Finally, they did good on YouTube, so I can actually get something from it. But that was my strategy. Shorts is a blessing to all creators. It's the best thing that ever happened to any of us. And I mean, I knew I had the content. I knew I had the funny videos. It just took a long time for people to actually watch it. It's important to actually have that library of footage for people to watch when they actually find you for the first time. If my videos blew up in the beginning, it wouldn't have mattered. It only matters because I blow up now.
I think that sums it up. I think that you have the right mindset. I think everything that you're doing is proving that YouTube and the algorithm is loving your channel, just like so many people out there. Like, I still can't even get over, like, your poll. 72% of your channel doesn't even cheerlead, or like doesn't even know what cheerleading is, and they still choose to watch it. So that's a testament to you. That's a testament to what you're creating. And I just wanted to say thank you for letting me pick your brain, and honestly just motivating me to make more shorts, motivating me to consistently grow and be myself, because that's the biggest thing is on YouTube. Like, if you stop being who you are, then your audience is going to see that, recognize that, and it's just not going to be genuine. And I also will try to take the planning aspect of maybe just showing up to my computer, making a video, and not really going into it with a full pledged out shot list plan. So I think that's awesome. I think it's unique. But thanks, man. That was awesome. I think that's a wrap.